Hey guys, and welcome to my 50,000 subscriber Q&A. Today, as promised, we're going to be going through as many questions as we can from my previous video. You guys left literally hundreds and hundreds of questions, so unfortunately, obviously, we're not going to have time to go through all of those questions, but the ones we like the most today, we will try and answer, and we will be sending some of you guys private messages, so you will have a chance to win yourself some pretty cool prizes. But before we jump in, I just want to thank all of you guys for helping me reach 50,000 subscribers. Anyone who watches the videos, likes the videos, subscribes, it all does really help me out. And by the time we make this video, we're actually already almost at 51,000 subscribers. So at the moment, things are really taking off. So I want to thank all of you guys for the support on the channel. Okay, so the first question today comes in from Will Radford, and he asks, if you could choose a weapon from a film/game to be made into an airsoft weapon, what would it be? Now, I thought this was a pretty cool question. There's a lot of different weapons out there I've seen in movies that did spring to mind. One of the first ones that sprung to mind was the assault rifle from Starship Troopers. That is very, very cool. I don't think anyone really makes that in a realistic airsoft weapon anyway. That would be cool to see. But for me personally, as a massive fan of the Killzone series, which I've talked to you guys about many times before, if I could get my hands on any weapon from a game, it would definitely have to be the M82 assault rifle used by the ISA in practically all the Killzone games. If you play those games, you know which weapon I'm talking about. It's a bullpup assault rifle. It looks pretty cool. It has a kind of futuristic EO tech on it, and that would be a badass airsoft weapon. The focus, please.
A couple of people have asked.
Okay, so another question coming in from Liam Mears. He says, congratulations on 50k, you've really earned it. Thank you, my friend. My question is, what got you started into airsoft and what pushes you to continue? Now, I've been interested in airsoft for years and years and years. I used to watch Scout the Doggy a long time ago, like we're talking 2010, when he was going around filming other players, and I always thought airsoft looked cool. I have an interest in weapons, I have an interest in kind of competitive play, which is why I like the likes of Battlefield and Killzone and all these online games. But I wanted to try and play this, and for a long time there just weren't any real sites around where I was living. So when I moved to the city I'm in now, one of my friends was actually playing. I saw pictures of him on Facebook, all in their gear with their guns, and I thought, this looks pretty cool, so I gave him a message, headed down a few weeks later, and since then I have been completely hooked since. Now what pushed me to continue playing is not only making friends there, I've made a whole team of friends that I never knew before airsoft that I now see practically every single weekend, which is cool seeing those guys, but also mainly it's creating the content for you guys. Making the videos, seeing you guys watch them and enjoy them and keep asking for more videos is really satisfying. So as long as you guys keep enjoying watching the airsoft content, I will be pushed to continue playing. Now another question comes in from Kevin Edwards, and he asks, do I have any pets? Now for any of you guys who follow me on Twitter for the last 12 months or so will have seen the growth of this little guy. This is Jasper. He is 11 months old now. I've had him since literally the day he was born, and he is the most annoying little furry little thing you have ever seen. But yeah, this is the first time he's made a feature on a video, so say hello. Hello. We have another one here which is more of a shout out than a question. Buster Bad asks, can I be in your Q&A? Buster? No, you can't. Okay, so we got another question here from Benjamin Adams. He asks, how would you compare playing airsoft in a woodland environment compared to a CQB environment? Now, I started airsoft in a CQB site, so I've got to say I'm a little bit biased towards CQB. I have only played true woodland once, so it is a little bit tipping on the scales. But I have to say, there is no comparison. I'm a big fan of CQB. I like outdoor as long as it's urban. I like it as long as it's close. But for me, woodland is for a particular type of player. Of course, it does have a big effect on the airsoft itself. If you're playing outside, the rounds are moved by the wind. If they're hitting branches and bracken and leaves, your rounds are deflecting, so they lose power, they lose accuracy. So it can be frustrating in airsoft in the woods. You can see a player through the trees, but it is still very hard to hit them. While if you're playing CQB indoor, there's no wind, there's no rain, objects are clear, you can just have straight lines of sight from solid objects to hide behind. So for me, airsoft in an indoor CQB environment is just a lot more realistic and a lot more satisfying than firing outdoor and your gun's bullets being stopped by leaves and trees. Another question comes in from Epic Llama Airsoft, and he asks, mid-cap? Personally, I am a big fan of mid-caps. They don't make a noise, you don't have tactical rattle, they look cooler because you have no wind wheel on the bottom. But as I said previously, in a skirmish game, you go through a lot of ammunition. So normally high caps are a better thing to carry, because if you carry mid-caps, you either need to carry a lot of them, I'm talking like 10 to 15 magazines, or you need to spend half your game sat there manually plunging more BBs into your mag. So for a milsim event where you shoot a lot less, and of course it needs to be a lot more realistic, mid-caps are the way. They look cool as well, not only because you haven't got to wind them, but you have to reload more, and reloading always looks cool. But for a skirmish, high caps, while they make a noise and no one really likes them, they just are a lot more practical, which is why they prove so popular. Another question comes in from Starkiller Airsoft, and he asks, if you could play Airsoft anywhere in the world, where would it be? Now for me, that's a pretty easy question to answer. One of the reasons I got into Airsoft was I was lucky enough to go across to California to play Battlefield Hardline, and when I was there, I got a chance to meet Jet Desert Fox. Now he was one of the coolest guys I've ever met. He took us around San Francisco in his truck, he guided us around the city. He was a very cool dude, and I would love to go back out there and play with him because he's been a massive support to my channel. He's given me a shout on his channel in the past, he's liked my videos, he's given me advice, he's told me what to do, so he's a pretty cool guy, and he of course owns his own fields. I think they're called the Desert Fox Field, so that'll be very cool to go out to California and play with him, not only because he's pretty cool, but the weather out there is pretty good, so playing with gas blowback weapons would be probably a lot more effective than it is here in the cold and wet UK. Now that brings me straight on to the next question from Titus W, who asks, what do you prefer, gas blowback weapons or AEGs? Now, for me, it really depends on where you're going to be using them. For a skirmish in the UK, AEGs for me wins hands down. The UK is rarely hot enough for gas guns to work at 100% effectiveness, and of course in a skirmish in a small CQB site, rounds being put down range is absolute king. So if you're using a 30 round magazine and have to reload every couple of seconds and of course regas the magazine every time they're empty, you're never really going to be playing. You're going to be spending your whole time just sat there reloading low cap magazines. So using an AEG with a high cap magazine, whilst of course you do sound like tactical maracas, is a lot more effective and a lot more fun in an indoor UK CQB site. Now that said, I am a big fan of gas blowback weapons. I currently only own gas blowback pistols, but I have got my eye on the brand new WE M1A1 Thompson submachine gun. Now this weapon isn't out yet. It's going to be a full timber and steel construction weapon, and it's going to be a gas blowback weapon. And I'm going to buy this because it's going to be cool. And I'm probably going to skirmish it now and again for a few maze games, but it's really going to be a wall hanger weapon. I just want to have one that feels and looks the business, and when I fire it, it sounds and feels the business. It's not going to be an AEG with a little whirring motor. I want to have the gas blowback, I want to have all the noise, the gas being expelled from the front. So gas blowback guns are cool, but for me, in UK skirmishes, they just aren't really that effective.
What video later this week?
So that wraps up today's Q&A. Thank you for sending in all of your questions. I'm sorry we couldn't get through all of them in one day, but I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If so, of course, leave a like down below, and all your comments and questions, I'll try and answer as many as I can down in the comment section below. And of course, stay tuned, we have an awesome Airsoft video lined up coming later on this week. But in the meantime, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Hello and welcome to today's Airsoft video. Just fucking around with the focus. The whales fucking shit.
The second you said all of them, I fucking looked up then like, what?
Hey.
Want questions, do you?
Hey.
Want answers?